Just a short time ago, I was a Major League Baseball player. I could do things with a baseball that few people in the world can do. Now it's hard to put toothpaste on my toothbrush. It's hard to cut my meat. I'm struggling to do what most people do with ease. You don't realize how many times you need both hands until you have only one. I like to challenge people. Just try to put your pants on with one hand. I guarantee you will have more sympathy from amputees if you do. I'm getting pretty good at it, but sometimes I go to put my left leg in the pant leg and I miss. Then I fall straight over like a redwood tree with a very loud crash. Of course, I'm learning how to manage. Already, I've learned how to write with my right hand, and I can manage a pretty good signature. I can even write a letter. The trouble is, everything is slow. I have to take time. I've never been a patient person, and I find it very hard to learn that virtue now. I've also been troubled by pain, not pain from the operation, but a weird kind of pain that began after I got out of the hospital. The doctors call it phantom pain. That's because it comes from a phantom, the arm that's no longer there. It's fairly common among amputees. Apparently, the nerves that were cut when my arm was amputated keep sending signals to my brain. For weeks, I felt like my hand was on fire. Now the pain has decreased, but it still hurts, especially when I think about it. I can feel my arm. It's in a bent position, and it feels as though I have a cast on it. When I flex my muscle, the muscle that isn't there, I can feel the whole arm. Most of the time, though, I sense my hand. It's cramping all day long. And then suddenly, something like an electric shock goes through it, and I can feel my hand open up. The way I look at it, I lived with a lot of pain as a pitcher. Often my arm was hurting, and I just pitched through the pain. If I lived with that, I can live with this. I'm told the pain may go away in time, but there's no guarantee. The hardest part, though, isn't the pain. And it's not the slowness, it's the loss. I've lost something that meant a great deal to me. All my life, I've been a baseball player. My left arm made me one. Now it's gone. I won't be able to swing a bat ever again. I can't throw a fastball by a hitter. The dream I had from the time I was a little boy is over. At first, I didn't have time to think about it. When I'd look at myself in the mirror, I wouldn't take time to really look. I'd just walk away. I was trying to pretend that it didn't matter. Then one day I couldn't pretend anymore. I was lying on my bed, feeling really frustrated with my life, and all my feelings built up until I couldn't contain them. I said to myself, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of being an amputee. I lay there for a long time thinking about how bad I felt. I wanted to cry. That was the first time I'd taken time to miss my arm, to realize that it was gone for good, to let that sadness sink in. I lay there and let my mind go back to my days in Little League, in high school and college, in the minors and the majors. I recalled fond memories of throwing the ball, getting people out. I would never get to do that again. But after feeling rich for a while, I began to realize something else. Nothing could take those memories from me. They were mine forever. Meanwhile, I thought, life goes on. I can't play professional baseball anymore, but I can be a husband to my wife and a dad to my kids. It's time to move on to new challenges. I think I'll always be an athlete at heart. I've made up my mind to try to do whatever my heart desires. If I can't do it, I'll find out through the process of trying. So far, I've found I can do quite a lot. I enjoy fishing, although I can't bait my hook. I enjoy playing catch with Jonathan. I enjoy playing football. I lift weights to keep in shape. I've done quite a bit of swimming, and some people swear I swim faster with one arm than they do with two. When I first began swimming, I wondered if I would just go in a circle, but that's not a problem. I'm not as fast as I'd like to be, but I still have fun and get my exercise. The same for playing golf. I've always enjoyed the game, and now I'm getting to work at it. It's been nice to play a game without the pressure of being expected to be the best. I know it's sometimes hard for people to look at me without an arm. When people see someone with a handicap, it feels strange, and they don't know what to say. I know they too, because that's how I felt. Let me tell you, I'm just exactly the same Dave Dravecki I always have been. So if you see me or anyone with a handicap, don't worry about saying the wrong thing or hurting their feelings. Treat them like a normal person because you know what? That's exactly what they are. The end of the story is bittersweet, of course. I came back, but only for a short time. Some people have asked whether it was worth struggling for that whole year in order to pitch only twice at the major league level. Was it worth it, considering how it ended? I don't even have to hesitate. Yes, it was worth it. It was an unforgettable thrill. When I think of my years in baseball, I put those games in Stockton, San Francisco, and Montreal at the very top. I got to live out the greatest boyhood dream of all. I got to do what the experts said was impossible, to come back from cancer and pitch a Major League Baseball game. Without a deltoid muscle in my pitching arm, I won a game in a pennant drive in front of tens of thousands of screaming fans. What more would anybody want out of baseball? The fans who supported me screamed for me, prayed for me, wrote to me. They knew that it was worth it. We all know that baseball isn't going to last forever. But while my baseball career did last, I got to experience one incredible year. I gained some wonderful memories I'll treasure forever. And I believe I gave other people some pretty good memories too. The struggle was also worth it because of the growth it brought in my life. I've learned a lot. I've learned how precious my wife and my children are. They were always important, but never so precious to me as they are now. I've learned to value serving other people because of what I've been through. I've had opportunities to talk to many, many people and offer them encouragement and the grace of God. As much as I love baseball, I treasure that more. Perhaps most of all, I've learned to put my life in God's hands. At times, the uncertainty of the last 4 years almost drove me wild. I had to learn to do what was within my grasp, one day at a time, and leave the rest to God. Such are the lessons that come when a man faces adversity. I don't think I could have gained them in any other way. If you don't struggle, you don't grow. When I think back on my career in baseball, I can't help but smile. I feel some sadness, but more satisfaction. How could I feel anything else? Every year in America, hundreds of thousands of kids go out to play Little League, and every year they dream of playing in the major leagues. The odds are so slim. It is as if you had a huge stadium jammed full of kids, each wearing a uniform and a glove, and just one out of All those thousands gets picked to come down onto the field and play with the big boys. I was that kid. I got to play. And even more, I got the chance to come back.